What's been really interesting, or honestly what's most compelling to me about Hearts to Hearts, is how deliberately they're engaging with current K-pop trends, and I would say even more important than that, how they're proving that those trends don't have to be annoying or exhausting if the production is handled with care, right? There's a real trend fatigue in the industry right now. Trends get pushed so hard and so fast that even well-made songs can start to feel grating in the context of the style being oversaturated. It's problems with repetition, overall minimalism, and production that largely focuses on atmosphere. None of these are inherently bad music features on their own. The problem is how often they're used without purpose. Hearts to Hearts feels like a musical response to these problems, and Focus can work as the pallbearer. What? Not the pallbearer. Focus can work as the herald of some solutions to these problems that we've been dealing with. From a wider view, like very generally, their music so far seems like it simply wants to refine current trends in the industry. That's something SM Entertainment has historically done so well when they really commit to it. It's a kind of focus on artistic control, on making familiar ideas feel deliberate. I think that is what good, excellent pop music is at a very primal level. It is working with what's familiar, but charging that with intent, right? We could already see this, or I could already see this with their debut, The Chase. It arrived when dreamcore aesthetics were everywhere and had certainly overstayed their welcome for many. Despite all of that though, I think The Chase really worked to emphasize things like texture and atmosphere. The musical presentation and vocal delivery made sure to keep you up in the clouds, but lyrically always within an arm's reach. I think the main takeaway for me is that the style of The Chase didn't replace its substance, a revolutionary thing for modern day K-pop. Focus takes that same framework or mindset and applies it to one of K-pop's biggest issues over the past year, which to me is repetition. We've seen repetition used as a crutch over and over and over again. I don't exactly know what's going on. Hooks are looped until they lose meaning, or even just phrases repeated ad nauseum and often without a clear purpose. Focus to me is a case study in how to do repetition correctly, especially within a genre that already thrives on catchiness. I need to emphasize that repetition certainly is not the enemy. Pop music depends on it. The problem only starts when repetition disrupts pacing or disconnects from the song's emotional center. That is where Focus succeeds. Every repeated element feels intentional. The production constantly shifts in so subtle but precise ways. It keeps circling the same idea both sonically and thematically, and I think that is kind of the point. There isn't a complex narrative to what's going on in Focus, but the lyrics and production are so tightly aligned that they work together to deliver something that feels full of purpose and intention. One of my favorite moments comes in the second verse with the repeated phrase, quote, the phrasing.
And you'll get phrasing, the phrasing, the phrasing, the phrasing.
It's so brief, maybe 3 seconds, but it carries a lot of weight. The song draws attention to its own repetition in a way that feels self-aware without being overly ironic about it. You can hear the narrator getting caught in her own thoughts, sort of replaying certain words and questioning delivery, right? Even if you don't fully follow the lyrics yet, I feel like sections like these make the intent feel clear. And this sense of fixation on the minute details is reinforced by the track's real centerpiece, which is the house-inspired piano riff. The keys are, without a doubt, what gives Focus its momentum, but more than that, over time they work to introduce a feeling of urgency. The riff loops with insistence throughout the entire song to feel a little obsessive about it. It never fully settles, it's present throughout, changing and shifting to the background depending on the mood. And I think it's that kind of restlessness that works so well to represent the emotional tunnel vision this song is built around. That tension finally loosens during the instrumental breaks, when a brief guitar flourish opens into very lush and or vocal string sections throughout the track. The mix grows so hazy here, the edges start to blur, and the piano doesn't disappear, it just settles itself further in the background. But its grip over the song does relax a little bit in these moments. For a moment, both the narrator and the song lose focus. This contrast is what makes the repetition work for me. The musically repeated elements adds to the feeling that the lyrical repetition is supposed to function like a kind of grounding mechanism. The narrator is repeating herself to stay present, to kind of pull herself back from the frantic feelings. The layered harmonies give these repeated phrases weight, reinforcing their importance. Focus is really working overtime to incorporate repetition as emotional reinforcement. I cannot stress it enough, this makes up such a huge distinction in pop music. Musical elements that are forged with purpose. What an idea. It's taken me 3 months to see the vision with this song, but now, with a little bit of time, this song is insanely effective at what it does. It helps to bolster this group's musical motives, but with all that they've released up until this point, I do kind of agree that all of this does place Hearts to Hearts in an interesting spot artistically. As a group, they don't have a rigid identity yet, which is kind of unusual for an SM debut up until recently. Similar to Rise, adaptability seems to be a part of the design here. Instead of committing to a single concept right at the start, Hearts to Hearts are engaging with the current landscape through high-level production choices, essentially doing what the industry is already doing, but better, right? With a little bit more clarity. I think I'm finally starting to see the vision with this group. They might go in a completely different direction now that I've said this, but nevertheless, thank you for watching this. if you did, let me know what you think about focus, where it works for you, where maybe it doesn't work for you, and things like that. Thanks again for watching. Subscribe if you want to, and I will see you next time.